So let's review this. If you have a variable named, let's say, a number, and you assign a value to it, okay, and you want to format that to 2 decimal places, then you will do this, right? Remember, it has to be a format string. The format string will start with this percentage sign, and then it's the width, right? That's the width. And the positive width is right justified. Negative width is left justified. So if I say the width will be 20, and then you followed by a dot, followed by the decimal places you want. So if I want 3 decimal places, I will say 3. And this is a float. So the data type, float. Okay. And another data type you can have is digital. That's for integer. And then you have S, which is string, right? So that's that. That's the formatting string. And before the formatting string, you can actually add other strings, but you always have to have this formatting string. Okay. And followed by a comma, not comma, followed by this percentage sign. And then after that, it's your variable. Okay, that's how you format, right? So you can see this is 20 spaces. And it's right justified. And you have 3 decimal places. Okay, that's that. Any questions? Okay, suppose you have another number and you want to print out 2 of them. You will do this. I will copy that here. And the numbers are, and since you are doing 2 numbers, okay, I will just delete this and delete this. Let's do the input string, the formatting string. Since you have 2 numbers you need to format, then you need to have 2 format strings for each one of them. So remember, your format string starts with this percentage sign, followed by, okay, let's say 3, right? The same, you want to format them the same way. Or maybe not 20, maybe we just say 2. That's too little, right? Let's say 10. Okay. So this is F also. Okay, that's the formatting string. And followed by this, followed by the number. So you separate them with a comma. I forgot what this, right? Okay. So that's how you format it. Any questions, everybody? Or you can say S. Okay, now let's format this. So we have 3 of them. You can say, I will take this, the numbers and string are, okay. So you will just add another one. Remember, your format string starts with the percentage. And if you want 10 spaces, and there is no decimal place, so you don't need a dot. And this is a string, so it's an S, right? And here, I will just make this a little bit larger. I can go down, right? But okay, so we will add string here. Okay. Oh, not there. Here. Okay, let's see. So this is how you format things. Any questions, everybody? This is a review of what we have learned. And you can format it as, let's see, if we format the first one as not a float, but as a D. Let's see what happens. Okay, remember the first one is 45.6788. If I format it as a as an int, and it will just give you the int, right? It's not round up, it's just the int. So with a float, you can format it as an int or float. And this is, you are formatting 3 strings, 3 items. Okay, any questions? Oh, I comment. What did I do? Okay, so, God, okay. Yang, say it again.
Yeah,
why?
The code is asking to print out for 2 decimal places.
Okay, what about that 0?
Oh, the 0 means there shouldn't be any space between between the number and the statement.
Okay, okay. It didn't specify the width, so it doesn't matter, right? It did not specify the width, so
I think I want to. No offense to you, Young, but I think the answer would be 24.33.
You think?
Because yes, it is 2 decimal places, but if you look carefully, you need to round up.
Are you sure you need to round up? That's something I don't know. Let's see.
No offense, Young.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original number is, yeah, it rounded up. You're right. You're right, Omkar. It did round up. That's correct. I did something wrong there. But if you look at this one, oh, you are not. I'm not sharing my screen with you, right? Okay, let me share my screen with you. If you look at this one, it did round up, right? 45.678. And that's the number it printed out. And you are absolutely right, Omkar. Yes, it rounded up. Okay, very good, very good. And thank you, Yang, for that answer. You are correct, and I even forgot it rounded up. So, okay, very good. That's the first one. The second one. What about the second one? Anyone? I'm going to call you if you don't automatically answer, if you don't volunteer. Anyone?
I'm solving it.
Okay, go ahead.
Would it print out the area is 24.3?
Yes, 24.3, right? The area is 24.3. Very good. The next one. Anyone?
It would just print out 24.325, but it would be justified 7 spaces to the right.
Yeah, this one is very strange. Okay, let me show you. If I do print 7, what does it say? 7F, 7F. That is the string, right? Okay, number. It will print out this, which I cannot explain to you. I don't know why. I cannot explain.
Wait
why.
a second. Wait. All right.
Okay. Okay, so if anyone knows why, tell me why. I don't know. It gives you, it adds, let's see, it adds 2 zeros at the end, and this is more than 7 spaces. And then it's also not 7 digits, right? No, this is the width, right? 7 is the width. So this is.
What happens if you put %6F?
You can try. Okay, so that's something we don't really have to worry about that much. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, if you put 6 there, it's the same. If you put 5 or 4, let's see, 4, and that's it. Okay, let's go on. We move on to the next one. The main thing to remember is the first two, because that's where you really format the decimal places, right? That's the important thing. Okay, the next one, write a code segment that displays the values of the integers x, y, and z on a single line, such that each value is right justified with a field of 6. So anyone who wants to do that?
I'll do my best.
I'm sorry?
I'll do my best.
Okay, tell me what to write. I will write it here instead of having everybody write and do that. So, okay, tell me what to write. Tell me. I forgot to record. You did number 2, we already finished. I'm talking about number 4. Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. Number 4, write a loop that outputs the numbers in the list named salaries. So this is how you do that. I'm going to do this one, okay? Salaries. This is a list. If you remember, that's from, I forgot which one. I think the very first one. It's the very first one we learned. This is the formatting, but we learned list in the for loop. Okay, so a list is something like this. It's within the square brackets. If I have this, okay, so salaries, right? So if I have, okay. Okay, so this is a list. If you look at it, it's square brackets. And within it, you can have multiple items of the same type. These are all floats, right? And you separate each item with a comma. Here is a list. So we can use a for loop. Remember, range basically gives you a list, right? That's what we learned in the first PowerPoint when we learned for loop. A range gives you a list. Here we have a list already, so we don't need the range function. So for each in salaries, okay, this is the for loop, and we want to output each one formatted in a column that is right justified. So right justified, not negative, with a field width of 12 and 2 decimal places, right? And it's float. So that is that. And now let me ask you, what should I place after this 1% sign? What should be there?
Let's see
Would it be
here.
each?
So
No, someone said something, Omkar, wait a minute. Who said something before that?
I did, Justin. I said, would it be each? Would you put each? there?
Justin, you said each. You say each. Anyone else?
each.
Each. Okay. Anyone else? What should I place after the percentage sign? Anyone else?
Each.
Salaries.
Should it-
Each. Each.
Salaries.
Because each
Salaries
is
are fine, right?
each is referencing each item in the list. Remember, right? It's referencing each item in the list. So each. Okay, so you can see it's right justified. The field width is 12 and 2 decimal places. That's what is displayed. Any questions about this one? Okay, so we did all of them, right? We did them here. Now let's look at what I want you to do and whether we need to do this. It's not necessary, actually. We already did that one. So this one, basically we are done. You can do that. That's it. And everybody, okay, you read the whole thing, the problem, the analysis, the design, and the implement. So, okay, so I'm not going to repeat there. So just let's look at the implementation. Okay, so I will share my screen. And this is, you have access to this too, right? You have it from the book, and you also have it in the Mind tab, actually. So I just copied and pasted it here. So you are to enter an amount and enter the year, the number of years, and then the rate, and then it will calculate the balance. So let's run this first. Okay, I'm going to run it first, and then we will discuss it. I already saved, so I will run. Okay, so it says enter the investment amount. Yeah, let me discuss this with two screens, right? This way you can see. Okay, so that is these three parts, right? Three statements. So enter the investment amount, let's say 1,000, and enter the number of years. If you invest for 10 years, and enter the rate. So assume that you get a 5% rate. That's impossible nowadays from savings. Your savings is about 0.2, 0.34. The most is 0.5 or 6. So it's your saving rate is very, very low. That's why, did I talk about that in this class? I said you should think about investing in the stock market. But anyway, let's say 5%, which is impossible once again, okay? So that's that, right? This part. I'm going to make it this way. So that's the three statements there. You get the data there, and then here, this we don't see, but it's converting the rate to a decimal number. So 5, converting that to a decimal number, what would that be, everybody? After this, what will it be? Rate is equal to rate divided by 100. What would that be?
0.05.
Yes, very good. 0.05. Okay, that would be the rate, right? So I'm trying to do this. Okay, so that would be the rate. This is done behind the scene. We don't see. And then it declare and initialize this variable, total interest 0.0. So you are calculating the interest. You want to initialize it to 0 so that you start from 0. And then display the header for the table. So this is what we have learned, right? So let's look at it, okay? This is a string for, the width is 4, a string, the width is 18, a string, the width is 10, a string, the width is 16. And the 4 variables to output is year, starting balance, the 4 literals, string literals, interest, and ending balance. So you have 4 formatting strings, and this is to go to the next line, if you remember, right? If your string is too long, you want to go to the next line, you can do this, using this symbol to go to the next line. So, and these are the variables. So you will output that, and then it begins to compute and display the results for each year. Okay. Enter. And so this is what was displayed, right? Those are the 4 things: year, starting balance, interest, and the ending balance. That was done by this statement. Okay. And then this is the computation. And let's look at this for loop. This is a for loop. We have done for loops. We have done small for loops. Here, it is really a longer, more complicated for loop. This is the for loop header, right? Let's look at the header. For year in range, remember this range returns a list, and that list will start from 1 and ending with year, because the range variable, the ending is years plus 1. So it actually will end with year inclusive, right? Year plus 1 will be exclusive. So I entered 10. It will start from 1 to 10. So the list will be square brackets 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Right? Okay, that is the list. So this range function will return you a list. And this year will go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You already know that. Okay, this is called the for loop body. All these statements will run 10 times from 1 to 10. So the first time, interest is what? Is start balance, which is what I entered, 1,000, right? That's the start balance. And times rate, which we calculated to be 0.05. So this will give you the interest. And then your balance, do we have interest? Yes, that's the interest. 1,000 times 0.05, that gives you 50. That's output here, but we are not talking about the output yet. Okay, so ending balance, we don't have, okay, ending balance, it's not here. Okay, ending balance is equal to, it's equal to start balance, which is 1,000 plus the interest, which is 50, right? So that's the ending balance. And then you print it out, which is, oh, that I see. Okay, which is, this is 4 int, with 4 an integer. And then this is width is 18, 2 decimal places, a float. Width is 10, and 2 decimal places, a float. Width is 16, 2 decimal places, a float. And this means you have 4 format strings, you will have 4 items. And these are the 4 items. Year is the variable here that goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You remember that. Start balance, just now we calculated that we know the start balance, which is 1,000. Interest, we calculated to be 50. And end balance, we calculated to be 1,050, right? That's all calculated here. And that's what is displayed here, if you look at it, right? Okay, that's the first round. And after this display, we have to do this. Why? Because for the next round, for your year 2, your start balance is not 1,000 anymore. It is 1,050. That's the ending balance from the first year. So that's the start balance for the second year. This is called compounded interest compounding. So when you invest, your initial money is compounded. Okay, it's a very powerful thing. That's why you should really invest early. So anyway, this is, so you initialize your start balance to be the ending balance from the previous year. And then your total interest will be added. You will add the current interest to your total interest each time, right? That's how this runs. So the second time, your start balance, the second year is 1,050 times 0.05. And that will be, that is your interest, right? And your ending balance will be start balance plus the interest. That will be this. And you print it out and you reinitialize your start balance to ending balance. So this will be your start balance for year 3. And you add the interest to your total interest. So that's this body, this loop body. It will run from year 1 to year 10. Because you entered 10, and this is 10 plus 1, that's 11. So it's from 1 to 10 inclusive. And then you print out ending balance, okay? So this is the formatting string. If you look at this, this is the formatting string immediately after the $sign. So width is 0, right justified, and the decimal place is 2. And this is the same. Total interest is the same. Okay. I cannot find the ending balance. Where is it? Okay. Anyway, so this is what is printed out. Okay, that is this program. Do you have any questions? This is important. So what we did is, if we do not do this, right? If we do not do that, then you will have the same starting balance for the 10 years, always the same, because you did not reinitialize the start balance. So this statement is what makes the difference. Okay, other than that, yeah, that's it, right, everybody? Okay, and I will stop here for this one then. Okay, now let's go to, I'm still sharing, right? Let's go to the next part. So let's do this one. Let's start the if and if else statements, okay? A lot of you are familiar with this. I think if you have a programming background, you know about this. If you don't, then this will be new to you. So selection statement simply is if else, because if you think about every day, in our everyday life, what do? We make a choice, right? How do we make a choice? We make a choice based on the condition. That's always the case. You know, you decide whether you want to go out hiking, and it may be based on whether you are tired, whether you have eaten, whether it's raining, right? So there are always conditions when you make a decision, and that's the if else if, or if else statements. They're used in everyday life and they are used in programming. So selection statements allow a computer to make choices based on the condition. If statement means if the condition is met, the computer will perform the task. If not, nothing will happen. If else statement, this is the if else statement. So we have two, okay? One is the if statement, one is the if else, okay? Statements means if the condition is met, the computer will perform one task. If not met, the computer will do something else. That's the if else statement. But first, we need to look at the condition, right? What is a condition? A condition is also called a Boolean expression. A condition is also called a Boolean expression. Okay, so Boolean. This is based on really the name Boole. I think he is a mathematician or physicist. That's the name. So this is in honor of him. We call this Boolean. Boolean is a data type. We have int, we have float, we have string. That's what we have learned. Now we have a Boolean. A Boolean data type has two values only. That is true or false, true and false. Okay, so it's uppercase, that T is uppercase, F is uppercase. Okay, these are the key words, reserved words. So you only have two values for this type. Think about how many values you have for an int type, right? For an int type, your value range is from -2 to the 31st to +2 to the 31st minus 1. That's the range of your int type. For Boolean type, it's very easy, just two values, true or false. Okay, so when you have something like this, 4, this is not equal to, so 4 is not equal to 4, a value is to false, because 4 is equal to 4. Okay, so these are the comparison operators. double equal sign, it's equals, not equals, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Remember, on your keyboard, you don't have something like this, like math, right? You do not have those keystrokes. So this is how you express that. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So these are the comparison operators, okay? So here, if you look at this example, 4 is equal to 4. That will reveal or evaluates to true. 4 is less than 4 is false. 4 is greater than 3 is true. A is greater than B is false. Why? Everybody, do you remember why?
Is it because of the cardinal, the value, the
what?
CHR, the character value?
The ordinal value for A.
Oh,
yes.
the ordinal, yeah.
The ordinal value for A is 65. The ordinal value for B is 66, if you remember, right? So that's why. Okay, let's start here, right? I'm going to just close this to restart. This way it starts from the beginning. Oops. I know I should just start a new shell. Okay, so you remember the ordinal value of A is 65. The ordinal value of B is 66. So A is less than B. That's why when you say A is greater than B, that would be false, right? Because A is less than B. Okay. That's that. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Exercises. Let me ask you these exercises. Okay. Number is 12. So now, is this true or false?
True.
True. Okay. In Boolean, in Python, it will be true. Is this true or false?
False.
False. Everybody, right? Is this true or false?
False.
False. Number is 12. 12 is not equal to 0. Is this true or false?
True.
Everybody, true or false?
True.
Yes, good. I want to hear a myriad of you, not just 1 or 2 students, everybody. Okay, num is greater than ABC. Is that true or false?
False.
This doesn't work, actually. The reason is one is a number, the other is a string. You cannot compare them, okay? So when you compare, you cannot compare apples with oranges. You have to compare apple with apple. So num is equal to 12, and so I'm just doing that, A, B, C, right? You cannot compare the two. They are of different species, so we don't do that. So let's look at exercise 1 on page 85. Here, page 85. Okay, so assume that x is 3 and y is 5. Write the values of the following expressions. X is equal to y, true or false?
False.
False. False. Good, good. X is greater than y minus 3.
True.
Yes, good. Okay, here is how you look at this, everybody. You look at this. Oh, that's not this one. When you have something like this, okay, oops, it doesn't let me highlight. this expression right here, you will do this arithmetic expression first. So you evaluate that first, you get a value, and then you do this comparison operator. So the arithmetic operator always has a higher precedence. So you will do 5 minus 3 first, which is 2, and x is 3. 3 is greater than 2 is true. I forgot if you said true or not, but that's how you evaluate it. Okay, the next one, how about the next one? C.
True.
It's true.
It's true, yes, because y is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3, and x is less than or equal to 3. X is equal to 3, so this is true. What about this one? Oh, this one we haven't learned yet. Okay, so let's stop there. Okay, so that's it, everybody, right? Let's go to the next part. The next part is called one-way selection statements. And the simplest form of a selection is the if statement. And here is the syntax. If condition, okay, this is the if condition, followed by the colon and then the statements. And this is called the flow chart. This shows you the logic of this. So the logic is, here is a condition. Condition is expressed with a diamond in flowchart language. So here is the condition. If the condition is true, you will execute these statements. Your statements should be in square rectangle. Okay, that's how you draw your flowchart. So if this condition is true, you will do these statements. If they are false, you bypass the statements and you get out of the if statement. That's the logic. Okay, so let's look at this example. If number is greater than 0, then you print, right? And you get an answer from the user, and then if answer is equal to yes, and you can see here is the syntax error. The reason is I did not put the colon there, right? So this is the correct one. If it's yes, you print. Okay, let's do that. Let's come here and we say number is 12. If number is less than 10, that's the condition, right? This is the Boolean expression, the condition. And if is the keyword. So if that's true, colon, remember that. And notice that the body of the if statement is indented. So you will say print number is less. Okay. So it doesn't do anything because number is 12. This condition is false. So it bypasses this statement and gets out. Okay. But if you say if I like to put that, that's in Java, you have to have the parentheses. If number is greater than 10, okay, then you print. This time it will happen, right? Because it is greater. So that's the if statement, okay? Any questions, everybody? And let's do this one. Answer is equal to input enter your answer. Do I need to convert this into an int? Everybody, do I need to do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I need to do that. Okay, you don't know what I'm asking. I want to ask a yes or no answer. I want to get a yes or no answer. So is this statement correct?
No.
Yes.
Okay, here is my question. I want to get a yes or no answer. Yes or no. Is this statement correct?
No.
Why not?
Because yes or no would be a string, not an integer.
Yes. Okay. Yes or no. And some of you may have misunderstood my question, or my question was not as clear. But yes or no would be a string. So you do not convert it to an int, right? Okay, so I will say yes. And I can do if answer is equal to yes. Because it's a string, you have to put that there, right? And remember, I put the parentheses there. It doesn't matter, but in Python, it's not needed. You don't have to have the parentheses. But if you get into that habit, that would be great, because if you go to Java or C++, you have to have the parentheses. Okay, you answered yes, right? Oh, let's do this. You answered yes, go ahead. Okay, so I will say if answer is equal to no, right? You will say print no. And this will not print out anything because you didn't answer no, you answered yes. So this statement will not execute, it's bypassed. If you look at this one, if the question, if the answer, if the condition is false, it bypasses the body of the if statement, it gets out. Okay, that's what this is. Any questions? Okay. Now, so that is the if statement, and we did several examples here, right? I hope you understand that. And notice the syntax, if, that's the key word, lowercase, everybody. And also remember, true or false is uppercase. This is different from other languages. In Java or C++, it's lowercase false, lowercase true. But in Python, F is uppercase, P is uppercase, okay, true or false. So that's important to remember. It's the syntax, it's not the concept, it's the syntax. So now let's look at this if-else statement, if you don't have any questions, okay. So if-else statements, it's also called a two-way selection statement. So this means no matter what, I have something for you. That means if the condition is true, I will do something. If the condition is not true, I will do something else. So there is always something to do. Okay, let's look at this program. You get the area from the user, right? Using that statement. Oh, I have it here, right? Okay, so you get the area from the user, and then you compare if it's greater than 0. If it is, you calculate the radius. And first you have to import math, of course, right? So that you can call the function to calculate the square root, area divided by math.pi. That the square root of that number will be the radius, and then you print it out. And notice the formatting string, right? We are using that. 3 decimal places. If area is not greater than 0, then you say error. Area must be greater than 0. Otherwise, the rectangle doesn't exist. So look at this run. -23, it will go here, right? That will run. If you enter -23. If you enter +23, these two statements will run. So that's the difference. Any questions? So once again, if you enter a negative number, this condition is not true. If it's not true, it goes to else and it prints out this. Okay, if you enter 23, +23, this condition is true. When it is true, it executes these statements. So if it's true, it executes the statements after if. If it's not true, it executes the statements after the else clause. And notice else is lowercase with semicolon. Okay, if it's 12, that's positive, so it will execute these statements. Okay, so here now we can make it more meaningful. We can say if answer is true, not true, but this true, uppercase is, oh, not true, right? Yes. Print, you answered yes. And you have to press enter again. Oh, no, can I do the else here? Okay, let me see. I don't know if I can do the else. I have to, let me do this. I'm copying it here with this shell. Okay, I have to do this. Let me see if this works. Okay, no, it doesn't. So I have to use shell script, IDLE. Okay, so if, let's do that. Copy that here, right? We get the answer from the user. And if, oh, I can also copy this. Then you have to go out, else, okay, print. Sometimes when you copy and paste, it is a little bit less efficient. And okay, you answered no. Okay, let's save and run. Where am I? Okay, enter your answer. Let's enter no. It will say you answered no, right? Let's run it again. And this time we run yes, we answer yes. And it will say you answered yes. So this is called a two-way if statement. That means no matter what, regardless of your answer, I have something for you. Okay. And you can also, I don't have to answer no. I have to, I can answer anything, right? It will still say you answered no. Only yes meets this condition. That's
But it
why.
has to be lowercase yes.
Yes, it has to. Because that's a great question. Okay, if you answer yes, it will not, it will say you answered no. That's a great question. Okay, so because in Python, it is case sensitive, everybody. Okay, so that's that. And here is the syntax, right? Here is the syntax. Where if condition, that's the Boolean expression followed by colon, statements. You can have more than one, a sequence of statements. Else, notice the alignment, right? They have to be aligned and sequence of statements. After else, you have the colon. Okay, so this is the flow chart. The condition is true, you will execute this sequence of statement. If the condition is false, you will execute this sequence of statements. So no matter what, you will do something and then it will get out. It has one entry point and one exit point. Okay. So here, this statement, so let's look at this example. First, second, you get that from the user. If first is less than second, minimum number is first, max number is second. Else, minimum number is second and max number is first. So now you print out the max. Okay, we can run that program in a minute. And let's look at this one. Grade input. Enter your letter grade. If the grade you entered is less than or equal to C, you are at pass, right? And then you print out. Else, you are at fail. If it's less than or equal to C, yeah, okay. Else, that means you are greater than C, then you are failing. So let's do these two statements just to run them, and then we will do the exercises. Okay. This would be easier. So we will do the first one. Okay. First num is equal to int, right? Input until a number. This is for the first number, and second num is equal to input int, input until a second number. Okay, and now we want to see which one is larger, right? So we want to see which one is larger. So we can say if first num is less than second num, then that means first num is smaller and second num is larger. First num is smaller, we will do min is equal to first num, and max is equal to second num, right? This means second is larger, second is the max, and first is the min. Else, if that's not the case, that means what? That means min is second num, right? Follow me with the logic, everybody. Okay, max is the min, first num. Do you understand this, everybody? Yes or no? So that's that, right? And then you can print out. Print. What do we want to print? We want to print max is plus. And if we want to concatenate the string, max is a what? Max is an int. So we need to convert it to a string. Max plus, and main is plus, and convert main into a string, right? Okay, that's it. Let's run. Okay, I'm right here, everybody, at the bottom. Enter a number. I will enter 12, 13, and max is 13 and min is 12, right? Let's run it again. So enter a number, I will enter 15 and then 10. And max is 15 and min is 10. So this is, no matter what, I will be able to give you an answer, right? That's what this if-else statement is. And if you look at the if statement, on the other hand, it just gives you, you just do one thing here, right? You just do one thing. If that condition is not met, you don't do anything else. While this if-else statement means no matter what, I will do something. Okay, let's look at the grade. Let's do the grade. Okay. Should we? Do you want me to do? Do you want me to do it? The grade part. In recording. So let's write this the grade one. What we do is so grade, right? Is equal to, grade is not an int, so we don't need this conversion. I'm deleting that and deleting that, and we don't need this part. I will just, I will just delete this. So we get the grade, and if grade is less than, what did we say? Less than C, right? Suppose this is uppercase, okay? Lowercase doesn't count. So think about it. A is less than C, B is less than C, right? Because A is 65, B is 66, C is 67. So if grade is less than C, we said standing is pass. And what else did we do? Oh, just print out. Okay, standing is pass. Or I don't have to print out. I can just say, yeah, maybe I want to do that, right? Okay, print. You have passed the course. Okay. I hope I can say that to all of you at the end of the semester. Okay. Else, standing equals to fail. Or let's do this, right? Instead of fail, we can say true. How about that? Let's use this Boolean variable, false. Okay. Else, print, you have failed. Okay, so that's that. And at the end, I want to use that standing. Okay, so if standing is equal to true, I'm doing two if else statement here, right? If it is true, I will print hooray, right? Congratulations. Else, I will print work harder. Okay, so here I'm doing two if-else statements, everybody, right? And standing here is a Boolean variable because true is a Boolean value. So you can only have true or false. Let's run. So enter a number, I will enter, oh, did I say enter a number? I should say enter a grade, right? Letter grade, okay. And I'm going to, okay, so let's run this one. Okay, enter a grade, I will enter F. Why? Okay, F. You have failed, work harder. You can see both statements have run, right? F is not less than C, so it goes to else, and your standing becomes false, and it says you have failed. That's printed out. And because this is not true, it goes to else. It just print out this. Let's run it again. Enter a grade A. You have passed the course, congratulations. So this is true, it does this, and the standing is true, it does this. That is this program. Any questions? Okay, that is this slide. We finished that one. Let's go to exercise 2, 3, and 4 on page 85. We cannot do these three. We will do that next class. Okay, let's go to 2. Assume that X refers to a number. Write a code segment that prints the number's absolute value without using Python's abs function. I will let you do that. So think about it. Assume X refers to a number. So when you write, you will just get a number from the user, right? X is equal to int input, get a number. So do that, get a number for X, and then write code segment that prints the number's absolute value without using Python's abs function. So think about it, absolute value, right? I will let you do that. This is a good exercise. Okay, let's do that. I will give you 5 minutes? Is that enough? Or 10 minutes? 10 minutes. Let's do that.
Supposed to do?
Okay, let's look at it, right? X
Yeah.
is equal to, you get a number from the user, and then if X is greater than or equal to 0, the absolute value is X. Else, you make it negative. You multiply by -1 and print out. Okay, let's run it.
So we put 13.
Mhm,
We can run it again.
mhm.
Put in -13.
Yes, very good, very good. That's correct, right? Okay, let's look at the code so that everybody can see it. Let's look at the code, Caitlin. The code, yes. Okay, good, everybody. That's correct. That's using the if-else statement to turn it into an absolute value. Okay, good, good. Thank you, Caitlin. That's very
You're
good.
welcome.
Okay, let's look at, okay. So Yang did, you get a number from the user. If X is greater than or equal to 0, you simply print it out. Okay. Yes. Oh, where is that B? Oh, B. Okay. Okay. B is equal to -X. Okay. Good. Good. Let's run it. And you did a loop. Oh, that's the second one. Okay. Yeah, that's the second statement. Yeah, that's correct. Let's enter a negative number. Yes, okay, let's look at the code, Yang. Let's look at the code. Okay, so if X is greater than or equal to 0, print absolute value 4, and you use the formatting string is a formatting string, right? And the two numbers to format is X and X. So what he did is absolute value for X is X. That's if you look at that, the absolute value for something is something. That's why he did that. And then you turn it into negative, right? And then you just output the number and the B and a negative number. That's very good. Good. Okay, let's look at, let's see, what time is it? So, you are doing it differently. So that's why I want to show it. Let's look at Brennan's. Okay. Brennan's is if number is greater than 0, simply print it out. Else, make it negative, multiply by a -1 and print it out. Yes, let's run it. Yeah, you already run, right? Very good, very good. Very good, very good.